So hello, my name is Alex Borschel, and I'm going to be going into how I go about uh, sustainability within an urban environment. Now, one of the things that I do when I'm planting is I make sure that I'm friends with cats. I don't feed them, right, Henry? Hmm. Henry, come here. I build rapport and loyalty with the wildlife because they're the ones who are going to be protecting from the vermin because there are rats, there's bugs, there's all that kind of stuff. Now, for example, here is basil that I planted. What I'm doing is from here you can see the water runoff is saturating into the ground and extends. It rained, but it extends to about where that tree is over there. That's why they're growing so actively. Now, unfortunately, not everything I plant always takes, and sometimes it gets overtaken by, say, the natural fauna. So, like in this case, all of this here is weeds. It's not really useful. It's pretty compared to that over there, but it's not useful. But for example, if you come over here, which you don't have a choice because you're following me, you can begin to see the shoots that I planted of independent peas. Like these are green arrow peas right here. So I'm very happy about how that's developing. Right, Henry? Aren't you happy? Now Henry tends to watch the stuff over here where I live. It's rather ugly. I'm trying to make it prettier. And as you can see, other people are also adding on to this. That's the nice thing about this is once you begin to do it and you begin to see results, people begin to add to it. Now, most of the time they favor succulents. For example, like this, because they don't require a lot of water. But because of changing desert climate conditions, we begin to have issues. Like a downpour, like you would have in a rainforest. So, for example, this grape plant that I planted is, as you can see, it's beginning to get water damage from just too much water. So that's an issue that I have to keep an eye on. Now, where is Willie? I got one-eyed Willie. Willie, Willie, come on, I know you're hiding. Willie, Willie. Hey, there's Willie. They respond best to this. Willie, I know you hear me. Come here, Willie. Meanwhile, I've got Henry next to me. Willie. And this is how you form a cat pack. By being kind to them. It's all about perspective. Now, over here, it was basically like you can see over there, and we've cleared this out, and with the rain, it's beginning to set in. What I intend on doing is I'm going to be collecting the rocks, and then I'm going to be using that to create a kind of terrace. As you can see, I collected the garbage in the distance over there. There's a sofa that the cats are hanging out at, so I don't want to get rid of it yet. And a lot of this I'm not getting permission to do. I just do it. That's what people kind of know me as for doing, is I just act. What else can I add to that? So, in about a month, there's not going to be any more water. It's going to go right back to a desert condition. Right, Henry? And when that happens, we're probably going to see a good deal of the fauna that I've introduced begin to die. But that's okay. Part of this is an experiment to see what I can integrate within Beersheba. This is, after all, like a 7,000 to 8,000 year old city. So some of the fauna that I'm introducing is definitely not native and maybe has never even been around this area in its entirety. For example, like cherry tomatoes, which I know Israelis claim they invented, but are in fact an Italian invention. Those have never been grown in this area of Beersheba. So it's integral for me to be careful about how I'm disseminating it. So, like over here, for example, what I've been working on very quietly, we can also do pull-ups here. But you see, the problem is the ground gets too saturated and moldy, so I'm working on the pH balance. But as you can see over here, it used to be just a lamp. Now I've created from the garbage a kind of little layout. Now, I didn't put the water line in. I'm not entirely sure who did that, and I'm very happy they did that. But we do get issues. So, like, for example, he's in defensive mode right now because there's a dog over there. And now I have to be careful and watch out for my cat, protect it. Yep, see, he goes away. One of the ways that I keep wild dogs from messing with the cats, because again, cats can actually climb things, is I'll actually, if no one's watching, I'll pee on things. Dogs understand marking territory. Now, the nice thing, though, is all of this moss in a desert environment means that the soil is incredibly rich. So when I get this organized with boxes and things like that from the scattered cobblestones around, it'll look very nice. It'll look like this, but I'm still working on this area and cleaning it up. Unfortunately, it's mostly just me, so it's a little bit hard to keep up given some health issues I've been going through lately. But I'm doing the best I can, and as you can see, there's progress. About a year ago, I was planning these things, and they've begun to set in. Come on, killers. Shoo, 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 shoo. Now, the real trick is I want to make sure that none of the animals go near the cars. Thankfully, the large amount of noise keeps the animals safe. And I need the animals because they're keeping the vermin away. Now, what I'm referring to in terms of... And the nice thing is we've got a bunch of babushkas, so they leave things like this water for the animals to, not die. Let's see, what else can I go into? So you see like these cobblestones here that are just lying around? These are the things I'll collect, which is two things. One, it cleans up the city, and two, it repurposes it so that I can have... I try to select specific types of stone. I prefer materials that can retain heat because when it gets cold, it'll kill the plants. There's certain plants like tomatoes, for example. If I get like a frost of some kind, they're doomed. Especially when they're an heirloom variety. Right, Henry? So we're going to head back over this way. I need to repaint this bench. I tried painting it white, but ran out of paint. I'm low budget. I don't even have a Patreon. I could always use more support. Because I do this all by hand. I don't really get much support from other people. Now that is adorable. Come on, Henry. Henry. You're not helping, buddy. Henry, leave the dog alone. And the very last project that I want to work on outside of the introduction to the apartment that I live in, and that is an adorable dog, is this area over here. This would be a great spot given that someone in the past originally set it up, but unfortunately either they moved or they passed away, so it needs to be